Alright, so welcome to my Shadow the Demon Lord prelude slash one-shot. So, just so you know, I've played Shadow the Demon Lord a few times, about 10 or so times, but never run it before, so this will be my first time running it, so I will attempt to get everything correct, and we'll do what we can, but for the sake of speed of the game, if there's anything that there's a rules issue or question, we might just I might make a ruling and we just kind of move on based on how long it's taking. Alright, so let's get into what is going on. You are playing orcs. Each of you have a bio that's written that you should have, so it should give you a general idea of who you are. So I'm going to read this introduction now. So this is basically what has been going on. And that is, 10 days ago, you set out from the Crusader state called Martyr's Point. Each of you have recently been procured by a timber expedition owned by a dwarf called Olin. He purchased many slaves to fell timber in the haunted woods, seen it as an untapped resource due to the rumors of the forest. Nevertheless, Olin bought you from whatever hole you found yourself in, and brought you here for one purpose, to chop wood. You are well fed, but closely guarded. Both orc and human slaves have been brought here to work. And although Olin is a dwarf, all his foremen and guards are human. They watch with a suspicious glare as you work, eat, shit, and sleep. None of you have much information about these woods or the timber outfit you now are owned by. Some men have said that this place is haunted, but the only haunt you have seen are the blisters on your hands. The day has grown long for your 5th day of chopping, but finally you are given your evening meal and allowed to sleep for the night before waking up early and repeating the task all over again. Let me switch the scene. So, you are in your small little encampment, and you have 4 tents total, and you are sitting around the campfire after eating what they gave you, which was some old meat and stale beer. And you can feel free to roleplay amongst yourself.
Particle effect is killing me.
It should be off by now. There's no particle effect here.
It changed scenes, but it went to a black screen with sprinkles on it.
Zoom out, we should be in the center of it.
Yeah. Can you just reload your page if it's... I'll be mindful, I won't use it if it's gonna...
Well, while he's getting that sorted, I suppose, as far as my guy, Lorg, is concerned, Lorg would be more or less silently eating over the campfire here, tearing off strips of meat or whatever grain porridge. What exactly are we eating right now?
It's some like 5-day-old venison that was caught. You get the worst of the food and everything else, basically. Basically, you're giving hunks of venison that is spoiled and very stale beer from the reserves. They like to give everybody beer for the same reason as slaves have always been given alcohol.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just muddling my way through that and also just keeping a watchful eye on our little entourage, keeping us guard here. Looking around the camp, pretty much.
Yeah, they're just basically staring at you idly, kind of with bored expressions on their faces.
Wather would be dipping his meat in his ale, trying to make it taste better.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your taste as an orc what you find appealing. I mean, it is meat, and based on your backgrounds, you might have eaten such crap before, or worse even. Hold on, let me see if I can get you. Should not. Can you see now, Ian? Are you in the right?
I saw somebody do a green ring, but that's it.
Can everybody else see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to reload.
I refreshed. Let me try coming back.
Oh, hold on. My bad. You should be good now.
Didn't give you sight.
I did not.
You were blind, or
I did not.
My eyes deceive me.
My bad. You should see now.
Yeah, I re-entered completely.
Okay.
So they're giving us crap food. Photok would be gnawing away at his, and shouting out across the campfire. He's like, "Slow down, Uglush." He says, "Be sure to drink plenty of fluids. You'll choke yourself to death." He'll look over. Is anybody being finicky about their eating?
Uglish has not really. I mean, he's picking at his, drinking the ale, but he doesn't look like he's too pleased with the food. I mean, this is the fattest orc you've ever seen.
No, do not pick the worms out. They are protein. You will need your strength in the days to come.
He grimaces and looks back at you and shakes his head. And how can winds eat this foul substance?
Photok, being an old leader type, he'll immediately reach across the fire and snatch it from him. He goes, "Fine then, go hungry."
And he looks like he's going to complain or contest, but is easily cowed and kind of like frowns and kind of shrinks back into whatever he was sitting on, his log.
Then he'll just put it on the top of his thigh and just let it sit there until he starts eyeing it. A little bit of revision in his whole disdain towards it.
Yeah, he is, after a while, I mean, you're getting fed once a day, so he's looking at it and he's like, just, you can tell he wants to say something, but he doesn't.
Just look at him and just go, "Maybe now you've learned your lesson." Toss him the plate and let some of it scatter out upon the ground. Be appreciative of the things you have. Let nothing go to waste until our time comes. We are free from these humans.
And he reaches down and grabs it, kind of looking at Lorg, expecting him to maybe snatch it up.
And I'll look at him and just cut him a real steely glare, and then just give him like a nice smirk. Go ahead, fatty.
He gingerly picks it up and begins to eat it. Again, still kind of picking at it, but definitely eating it. Not going to complain anymore, doesn't appear to, but he doesn't say anything else. What does Ruthor and Shega do at this point?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
So then, Shega, tell us, where did they have you in the woods today?
Oh, you know, chopping wood. As usual.
Did your orc's eyes see any weaknesses in the defenses?
I took a look around, but I couldn't find anything worth noting. What about you, honey? I'm talking to Ruther.
There's only 3 of them. We could probably take them. But why pass up all this good food?
Yeah, and realize you are unarmed and they are not unarmed.
Yes, but who's willing to die to get out? None of us have weapons. No. I think we wait a little longer.
I have given much thought to our captivity. There is always the chance that we could make spears when they are not looking and stash them in the underbrush.
There's also the possibility that Ooglush over there can be a distraction while we escape.
Uglish kind of like looks over at Shega and shakes his head. Wouldn't know how to do such things. And he just kind of like trails off and doesn't say anything more on that line of thought right now.
You could always just stand there. That's plenty distraction.
Your fat will absorb some of the blows.
We have lost too many of our number already. We should band together no matter how much we might hate one another. At least until these chains are away from our ankles and hands.
I like your idea about the spears, Photok, but I have another idea as well. These woods. Heard many tales about these woods. Dark tales about what lives in them. Perhaps we could get these foolish humans further into the wood. Perhaps we could find these creatures that live in these woods and, goad them into attacking the camp.
What creatures do you speak of?
I do not know exactly, but the Haunted Wood is known for, dark stories. Again, I've only heard it from passerby, but there are strange things and happenings that occur here.
I never noticed any strange things.
Well, we're not deep enough in yet.
If these tales are powerful enough to give these woods a name, perhaps we could use such fears against our captors. Make them think they are being haunted.
Yes.
Ooglush is very threatening looking. He turns my stomach just from looking at him. Maybe we could use him aside from taking blows.
Uglish basically shakes his head and his double chin kind of moves along and kind of bounces, and he's like, I don't want any part of this. Leave me out of it. And he kind of stands up, taking his food, and kind of like walks back over to his tent.
He may be a problem.
I am well aware of this.
A big problem?
Bigger than most.
Do you think he's going to tell them on us?
I look at him with the way he eats. It's easy enough to pass off him choking on his own food. Choking to death. Well enough. He may have no heart or spirit, but when it comes to being free, he would be the first to waddle his fat ass out of these woods.
Yeah, but given enough good food, he'd make skins out of all of us.
Yes, that too is my biggest fear, is if they make a pet out of him.
He knows those numbers.
I was hoping to use his time amongst the humans to our advantage. Perhaps his ears have heard something. Maybe Shega could sweeten his tongue or loosen his tongue into talking.
I absolutely refuse.
Even if it means freedom, Shega, you wouldn't take one for the team.
That is
Who
a
knows?
price I am not willing to pay.
Perhaps Uglish is skilled from his time with the humans, learned a few tricks.
Only thing he's learned is to stuff his own cheeks full of food.
As Photog's talking, he's going to look at the men and basically see they formed a routine on their guard duties. Are they like 100% attentive to us? Or
Go ahead and roll a do intelligence.
oh God, bless America.
Yes, it's an orc game, alright.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, you think you might notice that they are switching out at the same times at night, but you're just totally not sure. You're getting tired, and the fatigue, even for you, who might even be the most durable of the group, are a little tired. So not able to really.
Every time I look at them, they're looking at me. So yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. They're all eyes.
What are you looking at, Fodak?
Seeing, as always, if these humans have let their guard down.
I'm sure they have. I watched many of guard. They always form routines. Just gotta look harder.
Perhaps you can study their habits. I still like the idea of crafting spears. What's one more axe off of a limb to toss it in the bushes? After all we do is cut wood.
And with that, they give us the basis of a weapon, even if we don't have spears. This is a matter of timing.
You guys are noticing that this is a really, really cold night for it's fall, but you guys are feeling quite a chill, and it is quite windy right now too. You get several gusts of wind that blow ash around from the fire and kind of like push the tent's flaps are fluttering quite rapidly, etc. Right.
So what's the what's like the cap on these abilities? Like,
These are tents.
no, I mean like I'm looking at the character sheet. Like my speed's 12. What's the max on them?
Oh, there's no real max. I mean, it goes to 20, but
okay. No, I was just wondering. I was trying to base how good some of my skills.
yeah. You're if 10 is the base, so
Yeah, if you're higher than 10, you're better than average.
Okay.
And speed is just like feet, just how far you can move in a full move.
So you're quick if you get 12.
What are they giving us for our fire?
It's just just timber.
Yeah, but how much? Are they giving us a decent amount?
Yeah, you have enough to throw more on there, but it's not as much as you would have. I mean, it's fall, right? It's not all that cold, or shouldn't be, but it is currently right now for whatever reason.
Lord, throw more fuel on the fire. These winds are in my bones deep.
And then grab a log and toss it in.
If I were not to know better, I'd say it was about to snow. Early for snow.
Yeah. Snow can help us and hurt us at the same time. We'll leave tracks, but it will cover our movements as well.
Could be rain as well. Cold fall rain. marking the approach of snow.
Rain would be a blessing. If we were gonna plan something, it would be great to do it in the rain. Hide our movements.
Yep, clasp Lord on the shoulder and let out a bellowing laugh. You'd be like, ha ha, then again it could be these ghosts they speak of in the haunted wood.
Indeed it could. Hopefully the guards think as much.
I wonder how tough these ones would be separated.
Don't forget, there's more than just these. You forget we've come here with quite the convoy.
Aye.
Yeah, this is just your little camp where they stick the orcs, right, that are with you. The entire convoy is spread out throughout the woods on the periphery, but this part of the group, if you want to call it that, the expedition, has basically your number of orcs and about the same number of humans clearing out an area. And there are several more guards.
Well, no one wants to be a slave. What if we work with the humans in captivity?
The more fodder we throw at them, the better it'll be, I imagine.
Work for our captors. Did we not do this already, and where has it gotten us? Into slavery. From slavery to slavery.
We could always kill them afterwards.
Because didn't the orcs, they like worked for the Dark Empire, then they were freed, or their masters were killed, or something like that?
That's more in the south, but they did rebel, right?
Yeah.
And supposedly killed the emperor, but that is something you guys may know, but yeah.
Well, I just try us as a species, if we knew where we came from.
Yeah.
I may be old, but I will not wear a dog's collar on my neck.
Well spoken. I think eventually, yes, we should try to escape, but... I think we must bide our time a little longer.
Aye.
Trying to get a roll out of one of the group. I'll try to think of how to phrase this properly. We have all been in different parts of the woods, and we know where our camp was set today. Any of you think tonight would be the time to strike out? Basically trying to see if we know where we are in relation to the other people of the caravan. Like, are we like on the far right side? Could we theoretically try to break free tonight and haul ass to the east? Or
Yeah.
like, any direction we go, we're gonna run into opposing numbers?
Well, you are not sure where the rest of the camp necessarily is. You know where the worksite is in relation to your camp, but you are not taken to where the other humans are being held, or where the people, the people running the show is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, because I understand it's the woods. You got all kinds of twists, turns, elevation changes.
Yeah, you would be able to find your way back to the work site, but you're not sure where everybody else is.
It's too early for us to strike out. No, I think we have more work to do with putting the guards on edge, using the forest to our advantage. There's plenty of time for us to come up with a proper escape plan.
I agree. It'd be much easier to start paying attention to stuff, hiding weapons. Maybe we can find an ally.
And get into contact with some other groups of orcs. Maybe start a chain whenever we do make the plan into motion, but not yet. There's more to find out. Certainly.
A sound strategy.
Okay. Anything else for the night?
I keep screwing up. Hold on a second.
You're fine.
Lord would stand up and stretch, crack his neck. I think that's enough campfire talk for one night. I'm going to turn in, as they say.
I myself am going to as well. These winds bite too deep for my bones. I suggest that one or all of us keep an eye on Lugosh in case he decides to go sniveling to his new masters.
I will keep tabs on him. I smirk. I've never much liked him anyway. And, good night, brothers, sister. And then head over to my tent.
Come, Shiga. These sheets don't warn themselves.
Just following right along. Okay.
The blood flow freely, my brother.
All right. The next day, you are taken early in the morning, right before sunrise, and to the worksite. Currently, there are quite a few people in this area. You see that there is a human group of humans that are working on a tree over there. They basically they actually have like a lumberjack saw, and as well as hand axes, where you guys are just given hand axes. There are various guards around the area, as you can see, and you notice that the actually expedition foreman, the dwarf, is actually here and talking to the guards and watching your progress. You are around a tree. You are each connected to each other by ankle locks and chains that kind of connect to each other. So you're attached.
How'd I get stuck next to you, Wash?
Uglish really doesn't say anything. He's just very weakly holding the axe and hitting the tree and barely doing anything.
Don't break his concentration, Ruthor. He's already barely making contact as it is.
Well, if he were to slip and cut off his ankles, it'd make life a lot easier.
Who says he needs to slip? An axe just needs to make contact.
And as you guys are talking, one of the guards kind of walks up, and he's wearing armor and has a crossbow and a sword at his side, and he's like, "Enough talk, you dogs! Get to chopping!"
Of course. And smile at him and continue to chop wood.
Kind of walks back.
Fantasizing about how I will kill that man.
I mean, you can still talk, just with lowered voices or whatever, so feel free.
Yeah.
Is this a guard?
Yes.
Photaka being hammering the tree really with real sound blows. And you can tell he's biting deep with his axe because he's got a lot of strength, but he doesn't. He has to pause every now and again to catch his breath because he's getting up there in age. Stop for 1 minute, turn, look, and he'll start going. Today, perhaps we start sowing the seeds of discontent amongst these humans.
I might have some idea.
Maybe we all saw something running through the woods.
And then I'd go close to Photok, maybe a fire starts somewhere. How do they do it whenever we have to take a piss? We just whip it out and fucking pee on the tree we're cutting down, or do they have us?
Oh no, they don't.
Connected.
They would not disconnect you. You can either piss your pants or shit yourself. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You hold it to the end of the day if you don't want to soil yourself.
How much you give on these chains?
They're enough where you can work, right? So, you probably have 3 or 4 feet in between each other.
I'm thinking if we tell them we saw something in the woods, we might be able to.
If they care.
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
Well, if we act frightened, they may be more believed that.
Well, should I be the one to see something?
Looking at our relative position, is there anyone in? I can't see past the tree. Is there anybody by you, Shiga?
No, there's no one over there.
Basically, grunt off in Orcish, the equivalent to Shiga. See a demon in the woods and report it.
Okay. What's... I'm gonna point, right? I'm gonna drop my axe. I'm gonna point off in the direction of the woods. I'm gonna scream. Ah!
And this guard immediately walks over. He's like, "What's going on?"
And I'm going to try and reinforce her whole comment by acting surprised and lurching forth around the corner.
There was something in the woods over there.
What kind of thing?
I saw it as well, something fleeing in the distance.
Large. Menacing.
He kind of rolls his eyes. Go ahead and roll intelligence, both of you.
Can I do an assist to him instead?
That's what your intelligence roll is for.
Sure, do it with 1 bane. Or, I'm sorry, boon. 1 boon.
1 boon, intelligence with 1 boon?
Yeah, so for Shega. So Shega gets a boon on her roll from your assist.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay, so
how do I add
making
the,
Shaker's rolling and then she does the boon roll with it. Hey, good time.
So he just kind of like,
Oh, yeah, not very smart. Why?
he just like shakes his head and, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything. Why don't you go ahead and what is your perceptions? I think it's a little better than your intelligence. So since you're go ahead and do another intelligence roll for Photok and Shega with a boon, both of you.
I was gonna reinforce it by telling something about the woods, I guess.
Yeah, let's just do this right now. Yeah, you can do it
Each
that
of
way.
us intelligence with a boon.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there it is.
So, Photok, you actually really do see something. You're kind of surprised, but you see this thing run from behind one tree to another. It has like horns on it and kind of a bestial face.
Oh shit.
That's what I was going to describe too. Is it right on legs, but had horns? I'll immediately clench my axe tightly and just raise my arm up to my brothers around the tree and go, "We're being attacked!"
As you yell that, this guard steps forward and basically takes he's got a spear and kind of puts the butt of it against your back, and he's like, "What are you talking about? Stop screwing around! I don't see anything." And these guards start to kind of...
I'll turn to him frothing and serious, and he goes, "You do not understand. There is something in the woods." Trying to basically do my best to invoke panic as they're going, "Large creature with horns upon its heads and a beast in the face."
And this one yells back to, these guys are playing a ruse. I've looked over there. I don't see anything. And then
Look
kind
over
of...
there again if you disbelieve me.
Yeah, he does. And as he does... he kind of like looks surprised as these beasts start to run out of the woods, and they're like making all this gibbering sounds, and the taken totally unaware are the guards, and they're starting to like kind of backpedal. So the way Shadow the Demon Lord works is initiative. You guys go first. So you guys are attached by a chain to each other. What do you do?
I'm gonna yell at the guards, "Free us so we can fight with you. We don't want to use you alive as much as you."
Yeah, about that.
Photok's always thinking, so he immediately goes, "Rock Narash! Form around me! Use the chain! Trip them if we must! Work as one!"
Move over to... Let's see. It's long and short actions.
That's right.
Quick and, okay, so...
All I see is a tree, though.
And we've got axes, so... I mean,
You have axes, that's correct. If you click on your token, axe should pop up.
Yeah. I would tell, and look over to Uglish and Ruthor. Form up on Photok. The guards won't let us go. We fend for ourselves. And I would move over to, like, assuming that these two are actually going to move with me, I would start to move over to Photok.
Okay. You're doing a short. Yeah, who is doing short and who's doing long? Let's see. So long. So people who don't know, if you do a short, you can do one thing. You can move, you can attack, but that's the only thing you can do. If you long, then you can do two things. But the difference is all the shorts go first on both sides, then the longs. So keep that in mind. So
yeah, in that case, I'd be doing like a short, doing the same thing over with Photok.
Yeah. Uglish also does a short and moves along. Shega, what do you do?
Yeah, my given position, I can't see anything because it's blacked out, so I'd have to do a long.
You don't want to see anything.
No, you don't.
I promise you're happy where you are.
Ignorance is bliss, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking a long.
Okay. So shorts, go ahead and move. You can move yeah, you can move generally there. So you all kind of go over this way.
Huddle up.
And so Shega has long, so the other shorts go. So there's some crossbow fire from this guard moves up. Well, he doesn't do anything because he's gonna do long. There's some crossbow fire from the other guards. These slaves start to move backwards as well. This guard is doing it long. So now these beastmen type things start just basically they're all doing long. So Shega, you're up.
How far is the chain attached?
You can move to right where Photok is, pretty much. It's like five-ish feet.
All right, I
from
guess
the
I'll
next
just pick up
person.
my axe and move over.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. So now the guards move down that are moving down or moving and attacking, but most of them have shot their crossbows, and they just start getting like swarmed by these things. And they are coming towards you guys as well. They're just rushing around this. And then there's some bigger ones in the back, those that can see. There's some bigger looking creatures. Alright, so you guys would be up again.
I would, so,
Well, I have my long. Can I actually...
Oh, yep, you can. Go ahead, sorry.
Do we go before them?
Yeah, you always go before that.
yeah.
Because I was thinking of planting my axe in his forehead.
Yeah, and then fucking off.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's my thing.
Yeah. Because he has weapons.
He does.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll basically remove as one. Scavenge what you can from the fallen.
You're gonna attack him.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Please be nice.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, you put your axe right in the guy's forehead, and he just like looks surprised and just like tumbles backwards and hits the ground dead. Okay, so announce your short and longs again.
Long.
These things are gonna be on. If we quick, I'm assuming we can't run off the map to safety.
No.
We want it quick.
Well, if we long, we're gonna go before them anyway, because we're not in
Yeah, we're not in contact for an attack.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, I mean, I'm gonna go long.
Yeah, long, definitely.
Shiga, Ruthor.
I'm gonna take a short and just move. I don't feel too.
You can't move that far away from them. You can only be 6 feet away, we'll say.
Oh no! I'm going this way.
Oh, okay, I see. Yep, gotcha.
I'm just gonna run off the.
No. Yep, understood.
I'm gonna take a long.
All right, so anybody?
Up to 12, right?
You can move up to a total of 12 and 6 from Photok, basically.
Yep, I like it right here. Oh, there's
Okay.
more. Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, so that was your only short. So there's men fighting, but they aren't killing these things. There's some crossbows being shot, mass confusion. Over here, you see these two beastmen. They have spears, and they both run this guy through up at the top here. This guard. This guard is also killed before you, and then the long action for this guy moves here. Let's see. Let me check one thing. That's what I thought. And they're moving forward. Okay. Oh, you guys did long. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm looking at Uglush, and I'm thinking about our prospects here because we're gonna run. I'm thinking, I look to Photok, and I sort of try pulling with Photok. We need to cut some dead weight. I gesture over to Uglush.
So one of you cut his ankles and one cut his hand?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or break the chain, or try to break the chains with the axe and push him forward into the mass that's up there while we try to run.
Yeah, your hands are not chained, just your feet.
Yeah, so
each of us get an ankle.
look at Ruthor, and sort of with my eyes gesture towards Uglush's feet.
I understand.
Photok bites his lip grimly. But hey, Doc, hey, Bo, you should have been here. And he, with a heavy look of regret upon his face, he'll just nod approvingly as he crouches down and starts looking for either keys or weapon. And if it's a blade, whoever's the best with a blade, he'll toss a blade. If it's the keys, he'll hand it to the most dexterous of the group.
So you're looking through this guy's stuff, right? Go ahead and roll. If you're looking for keys, go ahead and roll intelligence.
You never know; they might be nice.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't see any keys on his body. He does have some weapons, though. Let me see what that is, because I think it's pretty obvious what weapons he has on him. He has a he has a sword, and a crossbow.
Ooh, crossbow.
So I would let you take both those if you wish.
He's all about his people, so he would toss his blade to the youngest, strongest warrior, and then I don't know whoever's good with a bow, whoever has the higher dexterity out of y'all.
Is there a dexterity or is it just straight agility?
It's agility.
Oh yeah, agility.
Agility is dex.
I don't know, I'm the same as strength as I am in agility.
But what are they?
I'm 11 and 11.
So you're getting both, buddy. No.
Let's go get him.
Which sheg is agility?
10.
All right. Do you want me to give Ruthor the crossbow? Or somebody else?
No, I'll throw the blade to Shega and the crossbow to who had the 11-11?
That was me.
Okay, that would be to you then.
Okay. Right. So you toss the crossbow over to Ruthor. He has that now. And then Shega, you throw the other blade, which it's not a great one, but you fought with worse. To her. So you should have new macros now for each of those weapons.
Yep.
Everybody else...
What are we rolling here, me and Ruthor, to smash Uglish's fucking legs or cut the chains from him?
Well, I mean, it depends which one are you going to try to do. Are you going to try to cut the chains or are you going to attack him?
I'm going to cut off the ankles. I'm thinking that we'd need a rock in order to break the chain.
Just attack him then. You're going to attack him. That's a hit. And that is... yeah. So basically 20, that's going to give you
4.
Yep. So you basically hack at this guy, Uglish's legs, and he just starts screaming and trying to like flail against you. What are you doing? What are you doing? And he just like takes a haphazard swing with his axe at Ruthor.
Is there like a dodge or something?
No, You just gotta eat shit.
He misses.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got that 11-11.
And I would move a bit, not out of range. I would move a bit because this is starting to get a little hairy.
So we get when we get the long turn, it's just one attack, one move, or
Yep.
2 attacks.
Yep. And so now it's your. Yeah. You cannot 2 attack. You can do a move and an attack, or you can't do a move, but you can do other things. Right?
One or the other, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's a combat overview handout which might help.
I'll take a look at it. But I'm gonna move away too with the same, and at the same time I'm gonna try tugging on the ankle thing, trying to get him to peel off, because I got a feeling we're just gonna be stuck to a rock here. All right, so I just move.
All right. So you're doing. Tell me if you're doing short or long actions. That's what I need to know right now.
Long again.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another long.
Was Uglush's feet severed? Or?
No. You're hacking. You're hacking at him.
Oh.
A lot of fat to cut through on this guy, unfortunately.
Maybe the blood will attract them. They'll eat him. We'll just yank them free.
Well, there's one right next to him. There's one right next to him.
I'm trying to let him get all the fucking aggro.
Damn. If we do longs, it's gonna be a pain. Yeah, well, I'm saying we're gonna have to probably do longs. Cause I'm thinking
we can get away.
If I can yank while y'all attack.
This is fucking brutal. Oh god.
Not as brutal as the alternative, because these things are probably just
Oh yeah, no. We're just get fucked and murdered. Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, I'm gonna go long.
Okay. Demi, long or
Yeah,
short?
I got nothing.
Okay. All right. So all the short actions start happening, which is not much up there. Uglush is attacked by this thing with its spear. And that is a miss. So somehow this thing misses Uglush. And he is doing a long as well. So longs go. Go ahead, guys.
Second verse, same as the first. Chopping at the legs.
I'd like to go first. I'd like to try and do a yank attack on the chain to do an unbalancing attack against him.
Yeah, you can do a strength.
Yeah, with 1 bane. Is that what it is? I know you can make unbalancing attacks. It's done with 1 bane.
Yeah, then do that.
And if I succeed, they have to make an agility challenge. If they fail, they go flat on their ass.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So basically, I want to lead off by giving a yank on Lush. That way, it might be easier for y'all to hit him while he's prone.
Mm.
Oh, 1 bane.
I believe in you, boss.
Yeah, unbalanced attacks, 1 bane.
Yeah, you try to pull it, but you have to pull through Ruthor and Lord to kind of get to him. It's like very difficult to do that.
Can't put all my ass behind it because I might yank them off their feet too.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost pulled off my ankle.
Who's next?
Standing over this dude because I searched him.
Yeah. Same thing sounds good.
Okay. Hack away.
Good stuff.
Just
Go ahead,
whiff.
Ruthor.
Ooh, I can just picture Uglush. He's just swinging that axe like a fucking whirling dervish.
Step back. Well, I guess I can't really step back when I keep hitting him, so I guess let's stand there looking stupid. Oh no.
Okay.
Stuck to this damn rock.
Not going good here.
Welcome to first level, everybody.
Yeah, level 0 actually. Shega, go ahead.
I'm gonna walk over to this corpse and attempt to shove it in this general direction.
You
Oh,
can just
shit.
roll the
Roll out
corpse.
an appetizer. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, you can do that. You just kind of hoist it over on the other side of Photok there. The other long actions. I think that's all yours are done, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long actions. This one goes after this guy and attacks, and somehow he's able to fend him off. Let's see how far this guy can move. See if he can get to... Actually, he goes to the closest one.
Hey!
Surge mentality. Yeah.
Plan's working, boys.
It doesn't do much good if he dies and we're still attached to him.
Yeah, well, might be easier to sever the fucking ankles if he's being chewed on, though.
Yeah, he got stabbed, but he doesn't fall. He's just like screaming in horror right now.
You fat bastard, die.
Let's see something real quick. Whoops. Sorry. All right. So the other long actions go. This one goes after this guy. This one comes around here, but it's not quite in range yet, I don't think. Let's see. Whoops. No. The ones down here. Let me see if they're in range of Photok. They don't seem to care about that body, by the way. Oh yeah. This one runs, and Photok kind of sees it over his shoulder, this creature coming with a spear. But it realizes that there's so many of you and actually doesn't run all the way, kind of waiting for this one to come around. You can kind of get the sense. Go ahead and roll intelligence, everyone.
My forte.
It's an orc game, boys.
Alright, so never mind.
Why they no attack?
Right, exactly.
They're weak.
And you do see out of like this one kind of yelling in some... Actually, you can understand it. It's dark speech. And it's basically saying, "Get them, go forward, I'll eat your brains. Go, I'll eat your eyes." Just basically driving these things forward.
Oh, God.
Short or long?
Long?
Yeah,
Here we go
long.
again.
Shaggy, you do have a crossbow. Or no, you have the blade, is that? Oh, okay.
I got a chip sword.
Okay. So Uglush is actually basically going to do a short. He turns around and just swings wildly with the axe at one of the creatures.
Oh my God!
And you see him actually. Yeah. He turns around and hits this thing and just chops its right into the front of its throat, and it like gurgles and kind of like falls backwards and dies.
Fair enough. Still cutting his ankles.
Yeah.
There's fighting back and forth, but nothing else from short actions from other people. So go ahead, Long.
Anybody else doing something first? Because otherwise, we gotta try to cut this dead weight again.
Well, shouting and talking is a free minor, and
Yeah, that's fine.
well, since he spoke in dark speech and I understand, I'm gonna go. We are not what's humans. We only wish our freedom. Let us go, and we will leave your forest.
Do a will with 2 banes.
Hope it ain't as bad
Nat
as my
20. Hey!
You did it, man.
Hey!
Yeah, they don't
He doesn't
respond.
give a fuck.
Yeah, he heard, "Fuck you, we're killing you all."
Yeah, well, with that being said,
You're all green. No thanks.
pop up and attack this one.
Okay.
Gotta buy time somehow.
That is a miss. Lord, you want to go next to resolve this? Maybe?
Yeah, I'll try to get rid of that fuck again. If it would, did it? Yeah, there it is.
That does it. So you
Thank God.
come down on his shin and just where you've been cutting him in the back, basically, right through his Achilles, and cut basically enough to rip the. Basically, after you kind of jerk the chain, his foot comes apart and he falls on the ground and just blood's just everywhere, and he kind of like expires in front of you.
About time.
No, scoot around the side, behind Photok here.
Okay.
Alright, Ruther's gonna move this away, and then he's gonna attack the one off of
With your crossbow?
yeah.
You can't move then if you're going to switch weapons.
Well, in that case, I'm just gonna move.
You can move then switch weapons if you wanted.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. And I'll
Okay.
switch weapons.
Shega, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna step forward and then make a guarded attack.
Okay. That is one Bane, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, that's a miss.
this is going swimmingly, boys.
Okay, so their long actions. Okay, just go up the top here. They're running in, attacking. Attacking up there. Still, somehow this guy is... one second.
And the Shega and myself are considered engaged now, aren't we? Well, not in a matrimony sense, but
Poor Ruthor. He never
Yes,
saw it coming.
yes.
I want to do a quick then. Whatever.
Yep, okay, yep, we're up now. Quicker longs.
Shega, I advise you to do a quick as well. Maybe, I don't know, because if we do quick, we might be able to do a shifting attack. But still, we wouldn't be able to run.
Long.
Wait, so none of these guys attacked? These two?
They moved.
moved up.
They moved up.
Yeah.
Oh, should have did a shifting attack.
Actually, I did. Actually, I didn't go with these guys. That's right.
No, you didn't.
I was
They were
looking
right
at some.
there.
Yep. Okay. So, the first one moves on Ruthor and attacks.
Oh God.
Thanks for reminding him.
You take 4 damage. So put in your green bubble of 4 there.
Get banged on.
And this one moves at Lorg and attacks. And that's a miss. These two attack. One attacks Photok at the top. Miss. One at the bottom.
Bane. It's me.
A Bane to you, okay. I'm gonna say he like stabs his spear out and drops it.
Shit, man. Looking like a Hornmaster game. Obviously, these beastmen had butter before they came out here.
All right, short or long?
Well, since I'm engaged, short, definitely.
Yeah, we know they're gonna do quick, so we might as well.
I'll do a short.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it long because I gotta switch weapons.
You need to, if you move, you're switching to what? Your
Axe.
you can. Yeah, I would let you drop your crossbow and then get your axe out for free.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Would kicking this drop spear over be considered an action? Like, towards one of my allies?
Yes. Yes, it would be.
Alright, then... We already got our turn order set?
Yep,
Or-
you guys go if you're doing quicks. You're up.
I'm gonna spend my turn to kick over a spear to, what's his name? Lork?
He has an axe. I don't know that that'd be
Oh,
much
well.
better. You all have axes, right?
No,
At
the axe,
least.
if you look at the damage, actually is better than the spear by 1. Because it has the +1.
So you spent yours kicking your spear?
Yeah, can I just kick it away from him? Yeah? Just like further away?
Yes, you could do that. Yes.
Yeah, fuck that spear.
Yeah, you just reach down and whip it back here.
Oh.
All right, go ahead. Whoever's next.
Go ahead, Photok.
I'm going to try to interpose the front of my chained foot behind his and then do an elbow smash to the face and knock it down. Basically try to do an unbalancing attack with
Okay.
the butt of my hand axe foot.
Okay. So he needs to roll an agility roll, right?
Yeah, an agility test, or he's not prone. He still takes damage and all that.
Yep.
Christ.
So you cut him, or you bash his mauled face, but he like shakes it off and hisses. Lord.
Alright.
Why don't you roll a just your axe?
Okay.
Oh!
So how does that look? Whoops. Whoops.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah. 1 second. One second, sorry.
Fine.
Roll 1d3.
Okay.
Okay. So all of a sudden, this creature right here just, you're not sure what happens, but it like starts like all this like pus starts like exploding out of its face, and it kind of like staggers back.
That's weird.
Ruthor, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and, since I'll be able to draw my axe with a free action after dropping the crossbow, right?
Yep, that's fine.
I'm gonna take that one.
Okay. That is a miss.
Damn it all.
Yeah, so... Alright. So, quick actions next to you. The one attacking Ruthor attacks.
Oh god.
You take 5 damage. So, he's gutting you pretty good here.
Yeah, I should say so.
The one against Photok attacks. And he gets a boon for being... they have pack attacking. Miss still. This one attacks Shega in the same kind of... oh, he doesn't... He just swings with his claw, basically. And flails.
But I do my damage correct way, it should be at 9.
So you hear this massive horn sound, and as you do, you notice these creatures start like running away. You can take attacks against those that you threaten.
Oh yes.
So go ahead and each one attack.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you hack it right in the back as it's running away with your axe, and it just kind of falls down.
And continue to do so after it is on the ground.
I, on the other hand,
Damn,
here,
that
take
was...
this with you.
Wow, that's holy shit!
We give our weapons to them as they run away.
Ruthor, you want to go?
Something happened to my screen here. Let me reload. I gotta come back in real quick.
Okay.
Damn, that's opposite ends of the spectrum right there. Holy shit! Max, fucking minimum. Wow.
The blood spray from your kill that it got all over our hands.
Jesus. Absolutely dominated.
Damn these faulty macros.
How dare you?
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, you go ahead and roll your attack.
Don't be like us. Be like Lorg.
2 thumbs up, hey. It's closer. Almost.
So all,
Running Disney.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
no, they're just taking off basically. Go ahead.
I was about to say, as soon as they do, let us retrieve our weapons and haul ass in the appropriate chain gang style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm definitely gonna want to pick up my crossbow.
You do notice one thing. You kind of like quickly kind of look over the, you see mostly dead people, right? But you do see this dwarf on his knees, like cursing, and he's like holding his side.
Abruptly stop, spin around. Let's circle them real quick like wolves.
Yeah. I say we finish him.
I'll give you your freedom. Help me up.
You'll
Give us the keys first.
And he waves to this guy right here. He has the keys. He's your foreman.
Stand in here and let y'all form behind me. See if he tells the truth.
You want an intelligent roll for searching the body?
Mm-hmm. He has a set of keys. And they fit your clasps.
Alright, I'm gonna unlock myself and toss the next key over to Shega.
As I see that he told the truth, I smile and look at the dwarf. Thanks. And then just right in the fucking head with the axe.
Yep. You axe him.
Are there any more
Search the
weapons
body.
on this?
Say that again?
Weapons and junk.
Yeah, everybody has crossbows and swords. So,
Take
Quickly
a cross-
before reinforcements arrive.
Can I pick up one of the spears?
Right.
Yeah.
Follow me. I think I know the way.
Do we know there were other orcs, or we were the only orcs?
You know, there are other orcs. You just don't know where they are. Hold on. Let me take some. Just get some stuff out of the way. Who wants what gear? Do you want to? Does anybody want to take? Everybody want to take crossbows, spears?
I'm gonna take a crossbow.
Nah,
The axe has been working fine for me.
I was gonna say, is there any better mechanic versus sword versus axe?
The chip sword is probably worse than an axe, I would say.
Alright, I'll hold on to the axe then.
And you wanted a spear.
It has like further range, right? I don't have to be like right on them.
No, there's no difference. There's no.
Fuck you.
I want to rip water skins and belt pouches if they have like jerky nuts and shit in them.
Yeah, you can do that. You can get supplies. Yeah, chip sword is 1d. Oh, chip sword is better than a spear. 1d6 plus 2 for a chip sword.
Oh shit! Well, plus 2. I guess I'll take a sword then.
Oh, better than an axe?
That seems wrong.
Yeah, something about it seems wrong. It should be on par, if not, an axe is an axe. I mean,
a broadsword is plus 2, so a chip sword can't be plus 2.
Do they have like broad axes or the long axes for the heavy chop?
No, you just have your axe.
Why don't we use that saw blade?
Yeah, I don't know on what. But.
It'd be improvised, I guess.
Yeah, both people grab one end of it and just run at whatever we're fighting.
Run for the knees.
Do you want the spear, Demi? It's not any better, but
I mean, sure.
Could throw it.
You could throw it. That's true. All right, give me 2 seconds to add that to you.
Yeah, my priority is food. Thinking long term if we gotta hide in the woods. Crossbow would be nice too.
Yeah, you
Hunt
can.
game. Prefer a bow, but
All right, maybe make sure everybody has the macros of the stuff that they wanted. I'm adding a crossbow to Photalk right now, so.
Yep, I've got it.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so what are you guys gonna do?
We're not running the direction they went. And where would camp be in relative?
Camp is north.
I'm not gonna be running anywhere. I'm gonna be limping.
Yeah, we're gonna. Oh shit, you will too, ain't you?
I think I know the way. I can get us out.
Rip a cloak off of one of the guards. As we're making two, my whole thing is ripping into bandages to patch Ruthar up. You said you think what?
I think I would know how to get out. I was trying to be the lead on this one.
Well, if you know the way, that's what it is then.
Alright. Just follow me. Keep up as best you can.
Okay. All right, so you follow Lorg.
Hey, we brought Uglas with us.
We're gonna eat them later.
Yeah, that's good. That's good eating. Okay. So you're walking into the woods following Lorg, and it's, man, I mean, as the adrenaline kind of like subsides, you notice it's getting very cold. And you do hear in the distance like the rattling of weapons and armor. It sounds like fighting. Not to where you're going, not in that direction, but just in general, you hear it. You don't know if it was from other parts of your camps or what, but
Stay low and step cautious.
And what time of the day is it at this point?
It's mid-morning.
Mid-morning? Okay, so we're going to be traveling for some time.
Yeah, best avoid them all.
I intend to. Don't worry, I'll get us out of here. I'm just gonna look around and see what I see at this point.
It's woods everywhere. I mean, it's dense forest.
Let's continue to tread lightly and lead with the crossbow out.
What is Photok, Ruthor, and Shega doing?
Photok will hand out supplies as we run, basically a water skin to everybody. What handfuls of food we got. And if we pause to catch our breath, we'll definitely make sure Ruthor is bandaged and try to make sure he's not seeping blood to leave a trail.
Yeah, you get him bandaged up as best you can, right? But
yeah, as he's getting bandaged, I would pat him on the shoulder and say, "Just a scratch, Ruthor. I'm sure he'll be better in no time."
Aye, small little wounds.
You all fought bravely. Now we must find our way out of these infernal woods. Where is it that you think you're taking us, Log?
I'm trying to skirt around the battle, of course, near us. Bring us around an edge. There's a town in this direction, I think, on the very edge of the wood. I think we passed it on our way here many, many, many moons ago, but I have a keen eye for these things.
But what about our people?
What about them? You saw those things. We were lucky to make it out alive ourselves.
Photok's face goes dark because he's not keen at all about losing another tribe, even if they're nothing but a bunch of collected misfits and captives. He just harumps, really pretty much stumped, not really any immediate comeback.
If they're strong, they'll make it out.
As soon as you say that, Photok's face, he's not smiling, but he definitely looks like he admires you in a whole new light. And he'll nod, the heavy look upon his face, and he goes, "Such is the way of the orc."
Indeed.
Allow me a stand moment more to finish up Ruthor's bandages and lead on. Shega, keep your ears and nose sharp to the wind. Shit, we didn't grab any flint or tinder, did we?
Like, I mean, you said you were looking for stuff of that nature, so I would say you should.
Survival.
I have some.
My wounds feel a lot better now.
See? Orcish resilience.
The true breed.
Something about that new god said the meek shall inherit the earth. Ha! They've never met us.
Yeah, you as you're sitting around talking, you hear the gruntle, the same kind of noise those beastmen were making, kind of behind you, and in a distance, kind of hear it on the wind type of thing.
We need to keep moving.
We may be strong, but there's too many.
Would there be a way for us to leave, like, false tracks?
You could. You could roll. Does anybody have? Here's one thing, kind of about this system that we should. Does anybody have a profession that would make sense for that kind of thing?
All I got is bandit.
Well,
I'm a bandit.
That
those
could work.
that both sounds good to me. Why don't you roll intelligence with 2 boons? You both can give it a shot.
I'm a nomad barbarian. My advice.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
My advice would be.
That's not.
That's not, man, that's a terrible roll. Okay, so yeah, so Sheg is able to. How do you do that? You're able to do it. How does it look?
All right. Well, first off, I'm gonna go off in a quick distance, and I'm gonna sprint forward in front of the group in a different way, making sure to make as much destruction in the foliage as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna take that spear and snap it in half and stick it in the ground. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you make some false tracks while you take another path, but they are getting closer.
I think we're gonna move quickly but quietly at the same time.
Okay.
The hounds are upon us. We need to find water soon.
You do. You hear running water up ahead, and you come to this kind of little river, is what it appears to be like, and some of it is you can tell it's very, very shallow, and other it's it might be shallow, but it's definitely moving quickly. And you kind of look down and see what you see. One thing you notice is it is starting to snow. And then you come to this very rickety bridge.
Thank God the fat one's not with us anymore.
Maybe we should cross one at a time.
Not a bad idea unless somebody wants to go tumbling down.
I'm assuming I'm the lightest one, right?
Yes, that would be a good assumption.
I'm gonna make my way across this bridge first.
Okay.
Test out the waters.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty rickety right now, but it doesn't seem like anything you can't navigate.
Careful. Bridges freeze quick.
I'll go next. Once she clears it and is no longer on it, I'll start my way across.
Photok's looking behind him to see if there's any signs of approach, and in his mind he's just picturing these beastmen like pursuing hounds. So in time he formulates an idea as crude as it is, and he just looks to Ruthor before Ruthor goes, and he goes, "Forgive me."
Stop right there.
And he'll
No,
he'll
you go
grab
ahead.
the remnant.
Go ahead.
He'll grab the remnants of his cloak
Mm-hmm.
and push it in against his wounds to get him blood on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and once he gets it good and soaked, he'll let him go. He'll say, "Proceed."
Okay.
All right.
So as Shega gets to the middle here, you hear the pounding of small hooves in water, maybe, and you kind of look in the northern direction, and you see just a massive herd of these creatures just thundering down the riverbank. They look somewhat like deer, but definitely malformed and corrupted. And it's just like shaking the ground, and it seems like almost what's an endless wave of them. And at the same time, you hear the calls of the beastmen getting closer. It looks like Shega's false trail might have given you some extra time, but they're still on their way.
Quickly, the two of you must get across. We must lose this section of the bridge. Because this is in sections, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
How far below us are they?
The bridge is only about 10 feet above. So 1 second there. It's not working. Sorry. Okay, anyway, roll agility, Ruthor, with a boon
Alright.
as you cross.
It's all you, buddy.
You see my rolls lately?
I mean, you just gotta believe, man.
Oh yeah, you get across no problem. Even though it's shaking
Yeah,
badly because these things are like rushing down the river side.
Come cross Voltag before they collapses.
Yeah, y'all booking? Because I'm not going to move until it's...
I mean, they're on stable ground there, right in between, because the bridge, that's like a part of the it's sectioned, right? Yeah. Now you would roll agility, Photok.
So, how is the bridge connected? Is it like on a post, or how does it work? Because
I mean, it's stretched across from yeah. There's posts, and that's what's shaking them, right?
So yeah, the
Oh
same
my
idea
God.
I do. Collapse it.
Yeah, you could easily collapse it just by shoving it over, basically.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So you collapse that part of the bridge, and it like crashes into the water, and these things like skirt around it as it goes into the water, and they're still running. There's still more and more and more of them coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as soon as I get there with y'all two, I'll push one of y'all forward. I'll go, Card, bin mug, cha. Basically, you run, I will protect you.
Go ahead, Ruthor.
Alright.
Agility, please. 2 boons.
2 wounds.
Get across.
That wasn't so bad.
Alright. Here I go. I gotta do the agility before I even start moving on that damn thing. No boons, no bans?
2 boons. Each of you have 2 boons for these.
Oh, God.
Got it. You can get across. Botok.
It's play, because the animation, there we go.
Is it slowing you down? I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's across. It's not producing anymore. It should lighten up for you soon. Okay. The rest of you, what are you gonna do? You're in the middle there. You see the as you kind of get to this area, you see that there are now these beastmen on this other side. And one calls out, "Cowards, come back! Fight us!"
Sure, climb over.
And actually, he like shoves this larger one, shoves two of them in the water, and they kind of like crash into this water and like get up, and it's about almost knee deep, and they kind of like see these things coming, and they kind of like don't really do anything, but these things gore them instantly and just like murder them, and just like these things actually like carry them away on their horns as they just keep going.
Guess you'll be coming down next then?
Frotog, they don't want to waste words. He just pushes Lorg forward and he says, "Run, I say, I have this." And hacking at the ropes and crouch down and pick up the boards and turn the thing to the side and dump it.
Alright, here we go again. 2 boons.
Yep.
Oh, I will use a fortune point.
Yeah, okay. Mark it off so you get across.
If I got that out of the way for you boys.
God, that was with 2 boons, man.
My son. Net
Get across.
Yep.
Woo!
Shaggy gets across.
You don't want to fall.
You can probably take him.
Yeah, you'd be fine. Forget about it.
Your Thor is across.
Oh, shit. Oh, there goes your fortune point.
Well, there goes my fortune point, right?
All right.
Oh, God.
So basically, Lorg, like as he goes, he teeters towards the edge and is able to like stumble forward, and Photok is kind of a similar way. And you see no end to these things. There's a giant herd of them coming down the river. But you are on the other side, and you end up in a not far off.
Every time I see this token, never forget.
He's just in your conscience, that's what it is.
Now the weather is getting particularly bad. Freezing cold temperatures. Snow is falling. Very overcast and foggy. You do notice there appears to be standing water a lot in this area too, like kind of like a marsh almost. And why don't you guys roll me some perception rolls?
Perception.
Intelligence.
Yeah, you can do intelligence.
Because there's no perception hotkey.
Yeah, I need to make one. You can roll it off the sheet too.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 of you already saw anyway, or at least 2 of you did. So Shega and Lorg at least see that in the distance there seems to be, you're not sure, like an underground entrance. There's like a patch of these trees, and it appears to be a opening of some sort in those trees. Unnatural almost like a cave entrance, but into woods. And then from there, it appears that there's what you could only describe as a trail going off further into the woods. So basically what you're looking at is an entrance, and then a trail going in, and then also a trail going around.
There, I point at the trail. My instincts tell me we can go through there. We need to get out of this infernal place.
Good
Yes,
enough for me.
we need shelter and a fire.
Yeah, what time? What? I mean, I guess you can't tell what fucking time it is with all this fog.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometime in the day. I mean, you don't think it's been. I mean, it's in the afternoon sometime. Best guess.
Still feels too early to set camp.
And those things are not too far away.
Funny, my sheet doesn't have any role icons over the attributes or skills.
No, you gotta click on the where it says plus and minus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to make a perception macro. I somehow missed it, but all good. What you guys gonna do?
You said you think the trail would be the best bet.
Yep.
I mean, it appears like you can get some sort of cover, perhaps, by going in this quote-unquote cave in the woods, maybe? Whatever it is. Or just keep following the trail.
Like there's bracken or bush or anything we might be able to cover the entrance to the cave with.
Yeah, you could do that. You could cut things, and yeah, that wouldn't be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And these things sound that they're gonna have to navigate the gorge and those creatures in order to get to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let us catch our breaths. Pause here, secure the entrance to the cave.
Alright. Start chopping up some bushes that are nearby.
I'll leave that bloody rag and stomp heavily like in a random direction and then try to carefully tread my way back.
Yep. So you reach the entrance to this thing, and it looks something like that. Snow's still heavily coming down at this point, and starting to accumulate on the ground finally. And you have enough to cover. You have everything to cover the entrance if you so wish.
Should get a fire going inside, or get a torch before we cover this entrance.
Stand at the entrance and use my shadow sight to peer inward.
Yeah. You don't see anything. You guys you don't have dark vision per se, but right. Anything illuminated by light, you can kind of see better, right? You don't see anything in there around the corners. It's a lot darker deeper in, but
Yeah, that's why I was trying to just get a cursory.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, nothing is. You can tell that nothing's like right inside the entrance that's gonna ambush you or anything like that. That's not.
Grab a stick and wrap some fabric off of the base of our tunics. Try to make torches and get them lit.
Yep, and it takes you a little while, but you're able to get 4 torches going.
Lorg has a +1 intelligence. Anybody got higher than that?
My intelligence is a 9 -1.
Okay.
Same.
Orcs, scout ahead cautiously. Tell us what you see.
Of course. Give me a moment. And sort of peering around corners.
Nothing excited. Yeah. You look in and you see basically quite far. You don't think that there's anything in there. Nothing living, at least, or undead for that matter. Nothing that's going to harm you.
It's safe enough. Don't see anything. After that'd be my first after I came back.
Debate what's going on outside. Give the stuff in front of the entrance a good look to trying to ponder if it might block us, be less noticeable, and if it is, I think probably ultimately go with let us proceed inwards further.
All right. So you're going in?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, orcs are used to caves.
Strangely enough, you walk in and what you see here is not somewhere necessarily protected by, just trees and stuff. You are actually in some sort of enclosed space. The walls, unlike this, shows them as some sort of stone, but it is interweaved branches and whatnot. But it's actually a confined room, and then on the ground are there's soft pads. The ground is soft, but it looks like this. It's not like stone or anything. And there are these 3 large statues, and the statues are of kind of these faceless creatures, looking all towards the middle. And the middle is about a 5-foot high altar, plain, circular, made of a tree stump, but intricately done so. There's a lip, and then in the middle of it is some sort of piece of paper.
Yeah, which our scribe is dead.
Anybody know how to read?
Kindling for a fire.
I may have picked up some things. Read words. Give me some light. Get the torches around the altar.
Photog, he doesn't like the look of the statues. He goes, hold, touch nothing.
Alright, might have been a good idea to go through the trail, huh?
This place smells sacred. Look at the statues. Though they have no faces, they all gaze upon that stump. Who's to say they're not protectors? He'll walk slowly up to the base and look up at them.
Yeah, they don't move or anything. They just seem to be statues.
You scared of a statue?
If you want to try to peer from a distance or whatever, that's cool, but just don't touch anything.
Can you see now, Lord?
Yes, give me a moment. I guess I'll try to read this mentally.
You should have a handout. It should say scroll. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't make sense of it. It's spoken riddles. Photok is likely right. We should be gone from this place.
Well, what does it say?
I can only read bits and pieces of it. Something about cold, greed, trickery. Gives me a headache. Scratch my head.
Makes no sense.
No, it's all nonsense. Perhaps we should be gone from this place. This holds nothing for us.
I agree.
Ruthor is pretty hurt. You could use this time to rest if you wanted. Or you can push forward. That's fine too.
Yeah, rest is fine.
One way in, one way out, and defensible.
Possibly even cursed by guardians. Touch nothing and huddle in the corner here.
Should we use this paper to light a fire?
No, I would not advise touching it.
Yeah, just leave it there. It's pointless anyway.
If we are found, let the humans or other creatures' curiosity be the undoing, not ours. We've lost too many already. And being a typical chauvinist orc, he'll go, Shiga, you have first watch.
Sounds fine to me.
I'm gonna rest my eyes against this wall.
Okay. So you do so. You rest for. You stay in here basically throughout the night. And Ruthor gains his healing rate, which is 3, I believe. Tell me if that's wrong. Is it
2.
more? Oh, it's only 2. Okay. So now you.
Orcs, we have no problem flopping together in a big pile either for warmth.
Yeah. So basically, you're at 6 health right now. Yep. So why don't everyone give me an intelligence check with 1 bane.
We won't see
Hey!
I'm just glad I got a positive number.
Oh. Oh, wait,
No kidding. Oh, you didn't do your bane, did you?
No, he did his bane.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Okay, so nobody really kind of look around this room from here, or just as you're kind of on watch, just walking around. You don't really see anything of interest. Nothing that really kind of explains what this place is, why it's here, etc. Ruthor, you do see one thing. You notice that etched in each of the, basically at the feet of each of the statues, is very, very faint and old writing that you don't know what it is, but if you had to guess, it would be, you have heard, just kind of the way it looks, you've heard kind of this writing described before as some sort of either elvish or fayish or something to that effect.
Did anybody see the Dirty elvish writing on these statues.
What? Where?
At the base of these.
Uh,
Notice it laying down.
Take a closer look at it.
Yeah, you kind of the same as him. It appears to be some sort of fancy script. You can't read it.
They killed our scribe.
Shame the fat one isn't here. This would have been one of his few uses. Not like he would have made it past the bridge anyway. I'm assuming this is all we're talking in the morning. The next
Yeah.
day. We've spent a day. We should probably get moving again.
Sounds good.
Yes. Yeah, be good.
Okay.
Travelers one like a pack.
All right. So you head and you come out on the trail. And where are you going to go? It is when you come out. You're quite shocked by how much it's snowing. It is almost like near a blizzard. You are severely underdressed for this, and the chill bites to the bone.
Stay close for warmth. Follow me. I'll try to get our way through this.
Shoot the first animal you see. We'll use its hides.
You do notice something kind of odd. You don't hear any birds or animals whatsoever. When you were working, chopping the trees, and even after the attack, you heard, wildlife, a lot of it. Birds chirping, other, insects buzzing, all kinds of things. But you literally hear nothing now.
Silence.
Too quiet. Photok will stop and look back at the cave opening. Recollect what he said about cold and greed, and in the dim recesses of his limited intellect, an ember will start to grow. He's formulating an idea of men deforesting the forest as possibly being greed, and now the cold coming upon them. But he won't say anything. He'll just look lost in thought, starting to feel his age as the cold creeps in.
All right. I think I know where we are now. Where we're going.
Well, where are we going?
To the west. Follow me, but something's not right. Stay close. Listen, you hear? No birds, no noise. Something is off. I'm walking very slowly, looking around.
Despite his better interest, Photok's gonna have the crossbow loaded and ready.
Yeah, same with Rother.
And it's very hard to, you notice that something ahead kind of like looks at you, and as you kind of approach on this trail, and this creature is looks partly like a person. If you want to look up what a fawn looks like, that's what this is. So basically, it has a humanoid face and body, but the trunk of a goat, and a tail, and it has horns on the side of its head, and like it wears like kind of like a crown of reeds and whatnot, vines and such, and it kind of trespassers in the wood. And it has a longbow in its hand.
They be trespassers. We have to be willingly going through this. We were forced here.
None are forced here. You are in my mistress's domain. I am a guardian. You must go back.
Photok will step forward and go, "Show us the way back and out of these woods, and we will leave your mission alone."
I can have something lead you away. I could do that.
Be careful.
Away from those demons.
Be careful. These ones, they speak lies. I've heard talk of their kind. It could be a trap.
It just looks at you expectantly. I will send you away from my mistress's domain. Those beasts do not tarry here. They will not bother you while you are in my mistress's domain.
We seek only exit from this place. Our captors are dead. And much like you, we seek nothing but the solace of our own freedom.
And he kind of lets go of the bow with two hands and kind of pulls up this small little whistle. That's what it looks like. And he like blows on it. And it's this sharp, shrill noise. And, after a few moments, Shega, to the north of you, you notice the sound of hooves on the snow as another one kind of shows up. Yes, and they start talking back and forth in this language none of you understand.
I would go stand near Photok. You see, they whisper plots, secrecy, hooves. They are kin with those monsters, I tell you. This is a trap.
But what if they speak the truth? We are trespassers in their woods.
You would trust these things? Look at them. They are beasts, monsters.
If our presence warranted it so, we would have been attacked upon sight. Instead, it chose to speak.
To weave words, to trick us. Look around you.
Now it has allies.
You see? Shega knows, she speaks sense. I think we push through to the west. Cut them down. Hurry quickly. Before more come.
I do not wish to make hasty choices.
We're in a hasty situation, Photok. The longer we wait, the more that could come. And those things, they could come behind us as well.
What does Ruthor? Yeah, what does Ruthor say about this?
He's had his crossbow kind of leveled and just waiting to see what everybody's doing. Because if he's gotta let go of a shot, he's gonna let go of a shot.
Yeah, I mean they're speaking to each other. I mean, I meant more of what are you thinking about this conversation? Right? Are you gonna speak up?
I don't know these creatures. But Lord, maybe you're right. I don't think there's anything friendly out this way.
Now, Photok is a former Orcish chieftain, and Orcs revere might, and right now he's not showing a very strong presence. He's thinking more of the safety of his people. He is old, too.
Yeah, kind of as you're talking, the one that you've been talking to before says, "My brother will take you along a path that can see you around the wargs and the fomar if you but follow him." And he kind of like waves to the other one.
Even though I suck at reading people, is there any way I can try to
Will.
discern the nature of their conversation, if it's mischievous?
That's very Will with 2 banes.
I don't have any fortune points left.
Is that with 2 banes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not unable to understand exactly the nature of their conversation, but you don't feel that it seems like they mean you harm. They seem more interested in getting you out of there than anything.
Trust your orcish instincts, Photok. Who's been leading you out of here? Have I led us astray yet?
I do not think they wish us harm, but I do not know that they are in league with the others. Perhaps we follow this one away from his brother, capture him and interrogate him further.
No. It'll be a waste of time. They speak in tongues to understand. They would not speak with us.
And this one kind of steps forward and he's like, "What's the delay? Either go now or face our judgment."
You see?
Enough talk. Is we follow them. Photok will turn to the one that stepped forward and asked the question, and he go, "Right then, we'll follow you." And as soon as he turns to lead us, I'll shoot him with my crossbow.
Well, that one's telling you to follow the other one, so he kind of steps forward and then turns around. So if you're going to shoot somebody in the back, it's going to be the one to the north.
Yeah, that's the one I thought stepped forward.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So you can do it. So just declare short or longs.
Short.
Quick, because I have my crossbow out.
Yep.
Sam.
Yeah, quick.
All right. Go ahead. Oh my. So that's that was Photok.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is a hit, and that does 6 damage. So you release a bolt into this thing's back, and it like looks very surprised, and like he says, "Attack them! Kill them! For the mistress."
Ruther hearing hearing the crossbow go off, we'll shoot this one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely cry out though. Lockdown, victory or death.
Oh man. So you shoot that one and it hits him in the shoulder and it kind of like staggers back.
Alright. Lead us to our deaths, will ya?
Lord.
Okay.
Just roll a d20.
Okay.
Yep. You notice this one at the top just kind of like starts like gasping and grabbing at its side kind of randomly. Let me look at one thing real quick. Okay. All right. So it's their actions. They're short and they shoot with the crossbows. So this one below shoots at
Longbows.
Longbows, yes. Shoots at Photok. I believe that's a miss. Am I correct? Or is it a hit? It is a hit, isn't it? You have 10 defense.
Mm-hmm.
So that one hits Photok in the shoulder for 6 damage. Yeah. The one up top shoots Shega. Or at Shega.
Oh god.
No, that's only 2. He didn't crit. No
Nope.
problem.
So she takes 2. And I'm marking your green bubbles as we go. Okay. So long or there was a long, right? Shega, go ahead.
Shaga was along.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna move forward.
Yep, he's in range.
Take a nice old stab.
Okay. Oh, nice. Roll a d6 for me. Oh, nice. So you kill this thing. How does it look? How do you kill it?
Just getting shot in like the shoulder by a bolt. She runs forward with the chipped sword and just stabs it right through its dumb face, I guess.
Had all that good music going and everything.
Yep. So you stab it in the face, and it just like falls backwards in the snow, dead. Declare your actions, quick or short, or short or long. I mean.
Short.
How long does it take to reload a crossbow?
I think it's that would be an action. You'd have to do a long to do it.
Oh, long then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, long.
Or no, sure, I didn't shoot.
That's correct. You did not shoot.
I'm long.
Yeah, long.
I'm long.
Okay. It shoots Photok. It does not need to reload.
Oh my god.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
So Photok is down, unconscious. It hits him in the chest, and he kind of like spins around and falls to the ground with labored breathing.
As he spins around, he looks at Lorg like, you fucker.
No. Step forward, or I just shoot it. Shoot the
Okay.
fawn. That's pretty good.
You whiff. Ruthor?
Alright, so it takes the action and reload, so that leaves me with a move.
No. So the way it works is you can reload and shoot as you're long because you went long, right? Long,
Okay.
like you can basically with a long you can do 2 actions if they're not the same. It doesn't matter what actions they are typically, but.
Oh wait, that wasn't a critical. Is he down still?
Yeah,
he might be.
Yeah, be at 13.
Yeah.
so you're still down. Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna take another shot at Mr. Ugly Face over there.
Okay.
Do it for the
There we
people.
go. For full talk.
You hit it. Actually, you miss. That's a miss. So it zips right by its shoulder, basically. Shiga?
I'm gonna take 12 steps. I'm like looping around over here. And then I'm gonna prep an action, and if anything comes near me, I'm gonna lob its head off.
Okay. Alright. Declare your actions. I'm declaring quick.
Quick.
Long.
Magic
Long.
quick.
I'll be there eventually.
You can, so Photok, you can, how do you do, we'll just,
Death save is a D20, isn't it?
yes it is, it's versus, Will, is that right?
I think so. Let me take a look.
We don't, we're not gonna do death right here, but we'll just do to wake up, so you can roll, so Photok, why don't you go ahead and roll a D20? Or just roll Will, I suppose. No, you don't wake up this round.
Oh no, it's a D6, I think.
It's a D6. What do you mean it's a D6?
The D6 for at the end of each round you're dying, roll a D6. On a 1 you die, on a 6 you become disabled.
No,
Which would mean that you're...
that's okay. We're not gonna do that. That's fine. Let's
Yeah,
keep
that's
going.
fine.
Quicks on your
so
guys' side.
I did quick, so yeah, we'll do that.
Roll it.
Okay. Let's see what the roll is. Wait a minute.
I think it's intellect.
Okay. That's pretty shit, boys.
Yeah. Did anybody else do quick?
No.
Negative for me.
All right. So it's gonna shoot at Ruthor.
Oh, okay, that might be a crit.
That is a crit.
Yeah.
You take 8 damage. You're you had 3 before. You're yeah, you're down.
Oh.
All right, Shiga.
Yeah, well, apparently there is a rush to move double your
Okay.
movement speed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Oh, we're just
Get
gonna
right up on
bust
top
through
of
the
it.
fucking bush.
That's fine.
Yeah, I can make it. So right up there.
Okay. Can you attack in the same move or no?
No, rush is an action.
Okay. So basically, the thing like looks over its shoulder. Quick or long?
I'll do quick.
Quick sounds good.
I will also do quick.
I'm gonna do the same thing, Tip.
Okay. Go ahead and do it.
There it is.
Okay. What is it? 1d3.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and do that. All right. And you notice like blisters, Shiga, on this thing just start like covering it in this oozing stuff. And you're up, Shiga.
You know what? Oozing makes me very uncomfortable. Let's stab him in the face.
Let's do it.
Lance those lesions for him.
Or like right on top. You know? Give him a haircut.
Yes. So I need to look one thing up real quick.
In the afterlife.
Yeah, I think, there we go. Okay, cool. So it basically, turns on Shiga, to shoot its longbow. I don't know if does that provoke an action of,
It would.
it would, that's what I
think
thought.
from close range.
Yep, so go ahead, Shiga, you can attack again as it tries to shoot you with its bow.
Gotta make up.
There it is.
That is a miss. That is a
Oh
miss.
my god.
They got some good agility.
They're sneaky.
So it just whiffs, and it turns its longbow on you. But you see it's like shaking. And it misses. Alright.
Orc gave it an STD.
Quick along, guys. Yeah.
Long as I have to reload.
I'll do quick.
Okay. Go ahead, check it. I'm doing quick as well.
Yep. Does a chip sword go off dex? Just wondering.
Does what?
You
The
go
chip
strength.
sword attack.
Defense does go off dex, yes.
No, I'm talking about the swing for my attack.
Oh, no, it goes off strength. That's a hit.
I just
That's a hit.
remember
So basically that kills it. Shega's killing these things.
After flailing around wildly and missing, and then seeing a shot go off and hit the tree behind me, I'm just gonna, straight towards the chest.
Okay. So you run it through basically with your sword, and you don't. There's nothing else out there. It was,
Shagar, Fotak and Ruthor are dying. Come help.
I'm gonna run a Ruthor. Yeah, got my priorities.
Put my hand on Fotak.
Yep. So what's your healing rate, Photok?
Just 3.
Okay, so we'll give you 2. So Photok, you kind of like wake up suddenly, and Lorg is standing over you.
Lurching up, trying to swing at anything as my vision starts to unblur.
Easy. We won. Thanks to Shagar.
Try to sit up, but then the pain from the quarrels, the arrows, basically. Get these things out of me.
Yeah, you have 2 arrows stuck in your chest.
I'll root through, find a piece of wood, and give it to him to put in his mouth to help him pull the arrows out.
Yep.
And then do a quick wrap job on him.
And Ruther is waking up as well, but he's basically at I'll give Shega 1 more and give Ruther 1.
What's that? We get 1 what?
Hit point, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Put my hand on Ruthor's shoulder as well. You're lucky to make it. Those things will pinpoint.
Photok's barely awake and woke me up.
Yeah, Ruthor, you kind of feel better very quickly. And that you still feel like crap, you both do, but some of the worst pain is kind of alleviated.
Yeah. Break these arrows. I'll pull them out soon.
Oh yeah, we're gonna break this off, but it's not gonna be all lovey-dovey. We're just a rough relationship, so no holding back.
Show me how much you love me.
Great.
What are you guys gonna do?
He'll roll to one side and press up on his elbow, spitting out the piece of wood in between his tusks. You're like, grab the bows and search the bodies. Let us be on our way.
Yeah, I'll scout ahead a bit. Reload my crossbow.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody want their longbows?
I will take it.
Quick action to shoot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't have to reload them. Give me 2 seconds. I'll get you those. Who wants them?
I'll take one if no one else wants one.
Shaga, Lord, do y'all want one?
I'll take one.
I'm good.
All right. So I'll give one to Lord and give me 2 seconds. So you pick up the crossbows. They don't have anything else on them at all. So Lorg should have his. Ruthor. Alright, so what are you guys doing here?
Stagger over to the one guy and grab his whistle.
Scout ahead.
His whistle's a desperation plea. If anything, I can run off and blow the whistle while they run the other way.
Time to move.
Kick his body into the pool over there.
So, Lorg, brings to you to this area, and you notice this raised platform, kind of, well, not necessarily a platform, almost like a dais, with this just snow is just coming down now terribly, and you see this this big kind of emblem on this obviously not natural area. And what do you do?
He'll be doing his best to keep up, trying not to show any signs of weakness. And he'll look really dissuaded as he gets here, and he goes, "I thought you said there was a village nearby. It does not look like a village."
We have to push past this and we'll be there. I'm telling you, I know.
Why don't you get Ruthor, Shega, and everybody roll Will. Okay. So I'm gonna send out. Hold on, just one second, guys. I got a lot of questions coming in. To you, Demi, yes, it should give you a bonus. If it wasn't, then I'll edit it.
Cool beans. Also,
Mhm.
you know, Lorg, you've been saying all these things, but we seem to be getting more and more lost as we move forward.
As I'm walking up here, lost? No. I know exactly where I'm going. I would, at that point, those of you who are looking at Lord would see him pull an amulet out.
And as he pulls his amulet out, something happens. Before he can quite do it, there's this strange thing that bounds up from the other side of the of whatever this is, and it literally has like one leg, one arm, and kind of like is bouncing, and like it sees Lord there, and it hisses, and you hear it say, "Winter, no!" And you are in combat. Whoever wishes to participate.
Is that a falcon?
It is.
Man, I actually remember the mythological tales of those. Half a man used to hop around and used to tell everybody, you better be good or the fucking man will come and get you.
Mm-hmm. It is. Mm-hmm. So, what are you guys declaring? Quick or longs?
Quick.
Long.
I don't even see anything.
Long.
There we go. Yeah, long.
Okay, go ahead, Lord.
I mean, as I understand it, I'm just gonna take my amulet out and throw it on the altar.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. It like lays there and does nothing yet. You guys did all longs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to do a long too. Okay, go ahead. That's you orcs.
Photok is wounded, lost, angry, cold, but more than anything, he is wounded. He's wounded by a betrayal, or what he feels to be a betrayal. He rushes up, and with his axe, he goes, "You've led us to our doom!"
You can't reach him from there. I don't think.
Yeah, I got a speed of a 12.
You're 19 away. It says.
I thought.
For roleplay, we'll do it. Go ahead. That's fine. Close enough.
He had a burst of speed from anger.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Normally, you've got 16 feet of movement.
Yeah, you're good.
No,
You're
it's
good.
No, it's an action shit, my bad.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. It's fine.
Go for it.
Yeah, but rush up to him. "You led us to our doom. You lied to us all." Hack him with the axe.
Let's see that roll.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, you kind of, as you come up, you kind of trip and aren't just not quite able to cover the distance to get to him. Shega Ruthor?
Next.
Oh man.
Hey, we're bandits, you know? We don't take kindly to betrayals.
I mean, what's more dangerous? Me or the fucking one-armed, one-eyed, flying purple people eater over
That
there?
is way out of our range, or my range at least.
You can dash.
If you got a crossbow, should be in range because as long as 100,
No,
I think.
It doesn't
No,
have
I don't got a bow. I didn't take it because of the dex.
Shega's too hardcore for range.
You want to go first?
No, by all means.
You know. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Sounds like a married
I
couple
can get
asking
a-
what they're going to eat.
Yeah.
So, what's
do you
the
want?
amulet look like right now?
It's just laying. It's inert, just laying in the middle right now.
Yeah, I can get right on top of it, but I'd rather not. I'm gonna go 12 feet and prepare an action. If anything gets near me, I'm gonna swing.
Okay. Ruthor, what are you going to do?
Oh man, I have no idea what's going on. So the orc hasn't done me bad yet. I mean,
my boy.
I don't know what this whole amulet thing is. It's beyond me. So I'm gonna move out. It's a long action. Actually, you know what? I can see this from here, right?
Yeah, but if you want to get, I would probably give you a bane just because of the angle. So if you go your full speed forward and then shoot, it would be no bane.
All right. There, and can I hold an action in case it comes in range? I mean, starts attacking, or?
Yeah, I would let you do that.
That thing is fucking terrifying. Oh my god.
I mean, because I just don't know how, like, in Ruther's mind, he's kind of, like, not sure on how everything is playing out.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so basically, on the long action, it moves. Yeah. Yeah, it moves right about there and starts like, and then actually leaps straight over to Lorg. Would you like to shoot it, Ruthor?
Yeah, I'll shoot it.
Okay.
Does a longbow automatically give a boon or something?
No, it shouldn't. It's from those fawns. Just put 0 in there.
Alright, wasn't sure.
My boy.
You hit it. Doesn't seem to do anything. It attacks. Yeah, it attacks Lorg.
And at that time, I'm gonna yell, Faltok, what are you doing? If Lorg dies, it kills us anyways.
Mm-hmm. All right, quicker long. I'm doing.
Quick.
I'm doing. I'm gonna want to do long.
I'll do a long, I think.
I'm gonna do it quick.
Timmy's
Pretty sure
taking
there's a
piss.
disengage.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
It's a long run.
I can't. Yeah, I can't attack the falcon though, can I?
Not from where you are. You'd have to move.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna help you with that.
I'm gonna do it quick then.
Wait for Demi to get back.
Mhm.
Quicker long, Demi.
Long.
Okay. I think we all. Photok, you're up. You did quick. I think you're the only one. Unless Ruthar, did you do long or did you do quick?
No, I did quick.
Okay, so you both can go. Let's go Photok first. Go ahead.
Alright.
Yeah, my methodology is lied. We could have been making our way to a fucking village, but instead we're here on a personal errand. And yeah, also I'm thinking of protecting the two of y'all. This thing is after him already. If it kills us, oh well, we'll defend ourselves. But betrayal is the bitterest of enemies in my mind, so I will attack Lord yet again.
Okay.
Or did I drop my axe? I don't.
No.
Yeah,
Didn't drop it. You hit.
Mm.
Like he lied to us all. He said to kill him. We have been betrayed.
Yeah, you hack him in the back.
Alright, I'm gonna take a shot at the one-eyed purple flying people eater.
Mm-hmm.
No matter, the more we have to fight this thing, the better.
Yeah, you shoot it. It kind of doesn't really do anything, but put an arrow into it. Okay, people with long, go ahead.
Disengage is to move away, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Try to. And how far of a move is it?
Whatever your speed is, yeah.
Okay. So after taking that cut, I'll sort of weave and dodge to the side. Ah, the only betrayer here is you, Botok. I have shot at none of you, stabbed at none of you. But yet you have planted your axe in my back. Quite the betrayal indeed.
We are here for our freedom only, not personal quest.
I am going to give you all freedom. You had only to follow my lead, and now this axe is in my back. What a betrayer, Photok. I trusted you as well.
Shega?
Leave it to orcs to bicker amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Fight.
I suspect him of betrayal, and he did some shit, and we're getting attacked. I'm just gonna go stab him.
Okay.
It too, Shega?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
that's gonna put him down.
Yeah.
So you basically cut him, and Lorg falls to the ground. As he falls to the ground, 1 second. He falls, and then all of a sudden his image changes. Not an orc, but something smaller. Roll a intellect roll with a boon. Ruthar, Photok, and Shega.
Fucker.
Yeah, Ruthar doesn't know, but Photok and
That's
Shega
still an orc.
recognize it as a changeling. You've never seen one, but that's must be what it is.
No wonder the fairies are all pissed.
All right. So it's my action now. This thing is going to move to it moves right about here, and then jumps at Photok and attacks.
Oh, you fucker. That'll put me down. It'll put me down.
And so after that, the thing, you hear this kind of like strange sound, and then a light voice calling out, "Enough, enough!" And you see this, what is it, an elf, perhaps? Walk out and like walk around the amulet. This thing kind of like walks off and then bounds away. And she goes over to Photok, and what are you guys gonna do? She kneels over Photok's body.
Look, another orc.
No, that would be a pass. It's an elf. It's clearly an elf. Sheg and Ruthor, what are you gonna do as this thing kneels over Photok?
I'm gonna call out to her. What is going on here?
I guess after stabbing Lorg, I'm gonna turn my head, see the elf, look to Ruthor, and be like, "Wait, I should run."
Run where?
Point that way. I don't know. We fucking no bandage, man. We gotta get out. Make like bandage.
Good question.
I can't run anywhere. I'm hobbling.
As you just don't say anything, she puts a hand on Photok, and he instantly wakes up as she heals his wounds entirely. And she steps forward and looks over at the changeling and grimaces, and she actually places a hand on the changeling as well. What is Shega gonna do?
Alright, so she's healing something I just tried to kill. Yeah?
Yes.
I still think we should bounce. I'm gonna go to my my boy over here.
Maybe she'll touch me.
She places her hand on Lorg and heals him. And Lorg, as your eyes open, you see who has been described to you many times as the mistress of the forest. And she looks at you and she says, "Today a prophecy has been fulfilled." And she kind of steps back.
Yes, it has. and stand up. And is this a childlike changeling?
Yeah, pretty much.
Still don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Photog when he comes. What?
Yeah. Might as well explain yourself, Lorg.
Go down to his people.
I suppose I should. After all, it was all the help from my friends that got me this far.
Actually, she doesn't call you Lorg. She says, explain yourself to them, Winter.
Well, first of all, I must congratulate all of my dear friends, and I would gesture to all of you. Without you, I don't know that I could have done this alone. So you have my thanks. So I will tell you of what has transpired here. My name is Winter. I am of the Fae. That is my name so that I might never forget my purpose. I had to come here to put the amulet of my birth on this altar. It was many months, maybe even a few years of planning. I had to think of ways to get around this lovely hostess's guardians. But I have brought the amulet to this place, and now I will bring Winter back to this land. Not for a few months, not for a few years, but forever.
That sounds like a very bad idea.
To a primitive green-skinned mind, I suppose it would be, but it is all part of a grand design, and I have achieved it. So now, mistress, what will you do?
I will continue to do what I've always done. Protect my realm. And she, snaps her finger, and the tree behind you, reaches over and, grabs you and secures you against it. You're, stuck, basically, as the tree, reaches around your waist, your arms, and...
Do what you will. It is already done.
I will do nothing, Winter. You will find... I do not believe you are immune to the biting cold. Now, without your trinket, you will die from the elements, from the winter, from the blowing cold. You will be the first to suffer your own creation. We will see if you laugh in the end.
Are all of us caught by trees?
No.
I will stoke a warm fire in hell for all of you.
She looks at the orcs and she just shakes her head. And, you may do as you wish. I will give you healing. The rest of Rule is not covered by snow yet. It will expand and eventually overtake everything.
Photog's initial thoughts were to tell the other two to run while he smashed the amulet. Because he's not too smart.
Yeah, you could do that. You could try.
But given the amount of stuff that's transpired, he will simply look like he's wanting to large forward and ultimately point his axe. Says, why not destroy the amulet?
It's already done.
How do we stop it?
That is not for me to know. This was prophesized.
Well, how do we get out of here?
She walks forward and She places her hand on Ruthor's shoulder, healing him, and says, I can take you to the river. It is freezing already. My pack will show you the way.
Alright. Then we shall follow. Faltalk, are you with us?
He'll look back long and hard at Winter, and he really wants to cut the dude's head off. But ultimately, as Ruthor speaks, he'll snap back to reality, and he'll stride forward. Yes, let us make our ways to the land south, as far south as we can go.
Alright. Leave Winter to suffer his own curse. A slow death he'll take.
And shaking. Safe travels. Be sure to stay warm.
You'll be warm in my sheets before so long, I imagine. Ain't that right, Shiga?
Yeah, of course.
Taco look at the lady and lean in as close as he can. He's just like, show that one no mercy. End him now.
Oh, that would be a mercy. My orcish friend. And she kind of like turns around and basically walks up the stairs and
Snort with disgust as she says, friend.
Have a long life, Winter. A long one.
May your torment be without equal.
Spits on the ground, walks away.
Yep. Any final words from
Don't
Winter?
really
Or
wanna,
anybody?
I don't.
Anybody? Go ahead.
I was about to say I don't want to help. Can we quest for you? No. We want to be free, man. We just
All right. So 20 years later, the lands of Rule drowned in endless winter. Snow fell from the desolation to Blotland. A way of life had changed forever. Starvation was rampant among but the most wealthy. Dying by way of cold was commonplace for those not careful, and the Empire had lost all hold over most of Rule, leaving only warring fiefdoms and city-states attempting to survive in the horror that had spread from the North Reach and as prophesized in the stars. And that is it.
Winter is coming.
It came.
yeah, quickly to King Robert.